Hi guys, so in today's video we're going to look at the Genuine Impact app. If you haven't heard of them before, essentially they are a stock research app and I've featured them in a few of my videos before. They are one of the ways that I research my stocks. So I've mentioned previously that you shouldn't just rely on one source of stock research. So make sure that you diversify your stock research options. And one of them is obviously Genuine Impact. Now do note that whilst this is a sponsored video, the video is completely my own in terms of what I'm saying, how I'm doing it, etc. Genuine Impact just have a few new features and they wanted to have a dedicated video showing it. So let's jump straight in. What I'm going to do is take you through bit by bit what the app looks like, what their newest features are. I will be completely honest in terms of what I like and what I don't like. So no sugarcoating here or anything. Okay, when you log in, this is the screen that you see. So you can see my watch list is right at the top. So you can add stocks to your watch list. You've got your portfolios, so you can set up multiple portfolios if you want to. I think it's a good feature to keep track of your investments, but I do have quite a few, so I don't really use that feature. The one that I do really like though is the important dates feature. So what I used to previously do is have to go and research every time I wanted to know when a company's dividend was. So I would literally go into Google, type in company name, dividend date and stuff like that. So this is really good for keeping track and for knowing if I want to top up this stock, this is the ex-dividend date, etc. So stocks from your watch list and from your portfolio appear here. So if you don't want to go through and add separate portfolios, etc., you can just add stuff to your watch list. So I do actually think from most of their features that they have, this is one of my favorites, just because I find it the most useful. At the bottom here, we've got notes, which is another new feature that they have. And this is where people can post notes about certain stocks. So if I click into it, you can see here we've got Bumble, Royal London Sustainable Trust, AMD, Twitter, Amazon, etc. So you can just read what people are saying, what people are thinking. It's sort of using that whole social investing type aspect for the notes. And then at the bottom, you've got a link to the latest insights. So if we just go into the latest insights tab, you can see here that you've got essentially a news section. And you could filter it here by all the categories like metaverse, etc. Now, the other thing that I do really like is these collections. So you can see here we've got collections such as ESG, metaverse, which a lot of people are really into right now, healthy lifestyle, Warren Buffett, sustainability, etc. And then you've got similar for funds, so not just stocks. Now, the reason I like this is because sometimes you just want some inspiration for what to invest in. So if I know, for example, that I want to make the most of the metaverse sort of growing, etc., I can go in here and I can, at a glance, see what stocks are in the metaverse platform and how they're doing. It's obviously not a complete list, so that's one thing that I don't necessarily like, that I think could use improvement. Because as you can see here, I've gone all the way to the bottom and that's it. Because obviously I know, even with my very limited knowledge of the metaverse, I know that there are plenty more stocks that could go in here. Or you've got this raw materials one that I think is very hot right now. I think everyone wants to invest in raw materials at the moment. So this, I think, is something that they need to work on and add to, but I do think it's a great feature. Now, say we want to look into a stock. So say we pick Apple, for example, and we click into Apple here. Now, this checklist compares it now to all of the stocks that they have on Genuine Impact. So what we want to do is scroll down and then look here. It says the rankings are out of a total universe and you can change to apply filters. Now, I think they've changed this because you used to be able to do this right at the top. So This is a bit less convenient than it used to be, having to scroll through stuff to get to the filters, because usually you don't want to be comparing it to all of the stocks. You want to compare to the same sector. So I want to compare here for IT, for example. So I'll apply the filter. And now you can see the rankings are now out of 901 stocks. So scroll back up and you can see the checklist here shows you what it ranks top, middle, and bottom in. Then you have another of their new features, which is the interactive price charts. Now, this, I think I've mentioned in a previous video, is something that was missing for a long time here, having a price chart that you can look at. Now, if you're indecisive like me and you need some help deciding between which stocks to invest in, there's also a compare function now, which never used to be there. So if we click this plus button here on compare, you can go through and obviously search for another stock and decide on what to invest in. So if I want to say, decide between Microsoft and Apple, because they're both in IT, you can see here it comes up with this chart now that compares both of these for you and handily highlights in green the one that's better. So you can see all these top ones, Apple seems to outperform Microsoft on here. And then we've got a few like social, for example, where Microsoft is better. Well, it's number 1 and Apple's number 45, etc. So it does seem on these two particularly that Apple far outbeats Microsoft on these comparisons. So yeah, that's pretty much a walkthrough of the app. Again, if you followed me for a while, you'll know that I've been using them for a long time. I think it's a great app. I do think that it still has many improvements to make, that it does seem like they are continuously making. So a lot of the things that I mentioned that are new are really adding value. So things like the comparison tool and the price charts are obviously new and useful features. Obviously things like important dates they've had for a while. Like I said, the collections could use some expansion. I think there's not enough within the collections, but I think the collections in themselves are a fabulous idea. I can't believe I just said fabulous. That makes me sound way too posh. They are a great idea. So yeah, if you want to try them out and get 6 months of free premium access, then use my link down below. And if you have any other questions about the app or anything at all, make sure to leave a comment down below. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.